In a matter of weeks, I went from having 2 six-figure jobs, traveling the US and playing basketball with pro trainers, to sleeping in the hospital for 2 weeks, taking 20 pills a day, and becoming incapable of doing everyday tasks, let alone work. This last year has definitely been the most challenging year of my life. I thought I had more or less achieved the goals I set out to achieve. I was thriving. I had just reached 100,000 subscribers on this channel, I was getting private viewings of luxury cars, and the 2 startups I was involved in were doing great things. I felt invincible. Until March 21st, 2021, that is. On that day, Michelle and I were just trying to move into Philly, and I began to swell uncontrollably. What we thought were allergies from an insect bite were actually a rare autoimmune disease that, to this day, had no cause. Now, looking back a little over a year since my diagnosis, I finally feel like I'm thriving again. I'm not thriving in the same way that I would have categorized before, but thriving nonetheless. This mental shift was definitely very gradual over the last year or so, and I'm honestly just really happy to be here today to actually share that story. It was a pretty terrible, long, and just grueling journey over the last year, and it was a long, difficult, and honestly pretty terrible journey to get back to where I am today. I still have a long way to go, but hopefully explaining my physical and mental journey over the last 14 months will help anyone else dealing with uncontrollable life situations. And hopefully, like me, you don't let these situations break you. My time in the hospital was a blur. All I really remember is that I was there for a long time. I couldn't wait to sleep in my own bed, and I really didn't know what was going to happen to me. Naively, I thought that my time in the hospital would be the worst part of this journey. I didn't realize how badly my disease will deteriorate both my mental and physical health. After my second stint in the hospital, I actually reached remission fairly quickly. In the following 2 weeks, I lost around 60 pounds, which revealed all the stretch marks you see today. And although I was on a lot of medication, the heaviest hitter was the 80 milligrams of prednisone I was taking daily. Some of the more serious side effects of being on such a high dosage of prednisone are depression, rapid weight gain, irritability, and trouble sleeping. Despite the fact that I've never been seriously ill before, it seemed like I got hit with every side effect under the sun between prednisone and the other medications I was prescribed to take daily. And for me, with this channel finally getting some good traction, over 100,000 subscribers, I felt terrible feeling like I couldn't post because of the way I looked and because of the rapid weight gain. At this point, my brain felt foggy, I couldn't juggle as many tasks as I used to, and I really had to focus. I ended up taking a solid step back in everything I was involved in. With one of the startups, I was paid as an hourly contractor, so I had no hours to log at the time. With the other startup, we were trying to maximize runways, so as a founder, I stopped taking on a salary. At the same time, my last stream of income, YouTube, came to a screeching halt because I couldn't get over the idea of showing the current version of my face to the world. Momentum on the channel slowed, and my appearance got worse and worse, no matter what I did to try and slow the weight gain. Financially, this was my rock bottom. Basically, all my streams of income came to a halt all at once, and now I had thousands of dollars of hospital bills after insurance deductions. At this point, my entire focus became getting myself to my usual self, one day at a time. I had sold my car, canceled the orders I had for any new ones, and paused travel for anything not business related. Financially, I was in a really tough spot, but I was really fortunate enough to be in work environments that were really understanding with everything that I was going through. They gave me the time to ease back into things, and slowly but surely, I was able to reach close to my old productivity levels again. Emotionally, I can really only describe my experience as overwhelming. My disease had no cause, and chances of relapsing are actually greater than 80%. Every pain, every discomfort, and every time I peed and I saw bubbles, I would get really anxious. This experience sucked, and I was and still am terrified that I'll just have to go through this over and over again. The medicine brought me lower, even when I thought I was at my lowest. And looking back, I'm just proud of myself for sticking to everything the doctors told me, for continually checking on myself, and for allowing me time to recover. I think the biggest issue that I was having was that I thought I was different than anybody else going through this disease. I thought I'd recover faster than the timelines they gave me because I was younger and started from a healthier state, and I was point blank wrong. While the optimistic expectations I placed on myself had me looking forward to the future, it placed me in an unhealthy, impatient position. Every time I checked the scale and my weight went up, I would feel utterly defeated. I was eating healthier than I ever was, working out consistently and going on daily walks. But I looked in the mirror and saw this. For the last year or so, I've avoided making eye contact with mirrors that I walk by because I'm embarrassed to see myself. I've made every excuse to not meet up with people and to not post videos like this one because I was afraid of the judgment that would come on to me from other people. I really dreaded the question, "How are you, KJ?" because if I were to answer honestly, I knew that I would just make the other person worried or sad. And if I sugarcoated anything, it just felt like I had to take on more of the mental burden of dealing with what I had to deal with. To make the situation even tougher, I physically could not do the things that I loved to do before, like going on runs, working out every day, or playing basketball. It'll take around 6 to 12 months since being off prednisone for my metabolism and muscle strength to get back to normal. What kept me sane is trying to hold off any self-judgment or worry until I get past this timetable, which would put me around November this year. So I thought that I might as well get sharper mentally if I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do physically. I started spending extra time learning more about my other interests like investing, coding, and creating in general. For all of you that are hoping to sharpen your skills in these areas and so much more, a great place to learn is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who loves learning and wants to explore their creativity and learn new skills. Through creativity, Skillshare can help you and me make 2022 a year of new learning, growth, and connection. If you're interested in making a career pivot or leveling up your skills for your side hustles, Skillshare is a great resource for you. Classes like Demystifying Cryptocurrency by Meltem Demours and Start Your Creative Career with Sanja Rasula gave me valuable insights to push forward in my various endeavors. Skillshare is ad-free, so I'm able to stay in the zone while exploring new skills, and since new premium classes launch every week, there's always something new to discover. The first 1,000 people to use the link or my code will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Huge shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Okay, so how's my health now? I'm pleased to say that I more or less feel normal internally. That is to say that if I don't look in the mirror or I didn't feel the additional weight on my joints, I wouldn't know anything was wrong with me. But I would be lying if I say that there weren't days where I was still really down. This last week, Michelle and I went to a trip to the mall to get some new, bigger formal wear so that I would actually have something that can fit for the upcoming postponed MIT graduation and senior ball. At this mall, I couldn't find but one suit jacket that fit, and not one pair of dress pants that fit. As I tried on everything that was on the rack and everything was too small, I began to dread the events that I was so excited to go to before. I went up 8 pant sizes and 8 suit sizes. Barely anything that I wore before fits me anymore, and that's crushing on the days where I'm not feeling so good. Although my face has gotten better, which does show progress, I'm at the heaviest weight as I've ever been. The weight should come off faster than it would have if I hadn't been sick, but right now is when I'm starting to reconnect with friends. Right now is when I have things like graduation and senior ball. It crushes me sometimes to think about others viewing me in a negative light for things that they don't know were out of my control. And then there's the fact that I'm spending hundreds of dollars extra than I would have just to get clothes that I can fit in now, even though I'm hoping that these clothes will never fit me again. It's just really weird. Besides that though, I've been able to really improve my well-being by taking a step back to focus on physical health through sleep, exercise, proper recovery, and diet, while also focusing on my mental health by relaxing and not trying to do too much at any given moment. So I apologize for not posting as often as I normally would, and I guarantee I'll get back to my normal self with time. Over the last couple of months since I moved to Boston, I've really tried to get back to doing the things that I want to do, whether that be YouTube, traveling, going to concerts, watching NBA games, or generally hanging out with friends. And something that's really helped me is also finding this community on Facebook. It was a Facebook group with people that also have rare kidney diseases. Hearing everybody else's story around rare kidney diseases helped me put things into perspective. I didn't have to deal with these issues as I raised a family, and I was fortunate enough to experience all of this in a world that normalized working from home. Everything is all about perspective. I've carried over some of these perspective changes into my aspirations and goals. I'm now much more focused on living in the moment and experiencing everything that life has to offer, and less focused on how much money I hope to make. I hope to one day raise a family of my own. I want to be able to one day play basketball again, and I want to continue to share my advice and story with the world. I'll continue to strive to be the most successful version of myself, but I'm not going to sacrifice my general happiness in the meantime to get there. I also want to shout out my family, my closest friends, and Michelle for keeping everything into perspective as my mind started to panic and wander. They never allowed me to fully break even when life seemed to keep hitting me. Michelle's love and support for me never wavered the slightest, no matter how difficult this situation has gotten. I'm just very grateful to be in the position where I have so much love around on a daily basis. As of last week, I'm in complete remission from my kidney diseases. I'm in the fortunate position to be able to meet with a great kidney doctor who I can call with any questions here in Boston. I'm currently taking 0 medication and I'm expected to make a complete recovery outside of the stretch marks. I still have slight panic attacks when I get my blood drawn, but everything seems to be really trending in the right direction again. Thank you all for supporting me through all of this, and let me know in the comment section what type of videos you want to see in the future. As always, I'll see you in the next video.